Have you ever had something happen to you and you say like, "Oh my God, why me?" If that's you, this video's for you. My name is Nathan Webster, and I'm excited to talk to you about one of my testimonies that God has brought me through. And sometimes we are going through something that we have no idea, but sometimes we do. Sometimes we know, like, okay, God's going to bring me through, but sometimes we don't really know how God is going to bring us through or why even God is bringing this to the table. So let me tell you why I'm telling you this story. So there was a time when I got out the Marine Corps, I was super in shape, and someone came to me at the place of my job. I worked at a gym, and he said, "You should run a marathon." And I'm like, "What?" And I was like, "Bro, white people run marathons, black people don't." I didn't know like Kenyans dominate marathons, right? But that's another story. So when it came to him telling me that I should run a marathon, I was like, "Huh." He left he left at that moment, but at that time, the thought never left my mind. With that thought never leaving my mind, I said, okay, I'm going to do a 5K. He told me I could do a marathon, but I didn't believe in myself. Remember that. We're going to come back to that. I was like, let me just start with the 5K. Well, I tried to put a team together. It didn't work. The 5K came and gone, and I was so upset. And so every year at that time, I was always upset why I didn't do the marathon, why I couldn't do the 5K. And I blamed everybody else for me not able to do this 5K or really the marathon that he said I could do. Remember, we're going to come back to this. So 13 years later, I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this marathon. And I don't care, hell or high water, I'm going to knock this out. If you're still watching, I'm talking to you, the person that has had something on their heart, something that has been planted, and you know there is a voice, there's a calling. God is telling you you should do it. And you're not doing it because you're scared. Well, what does this Bible say? God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So it comes 13 years later, and I'm now going to do this. I cut weight, I start training, and I do this marathon. And I start off out the gates running, and it's the Portland Marathon. And I had no idea what I was in store for. And I'm like, God, why did I do this? And let me first say, too, I did not do this on my own. I needed people's help, not just one, but multiple people. I'll share in a bit later. So I start this marathon and I start off the gate hot. Like I'm running like at a 10, 12-minute pace, not even knowing that this was just mile two. Mile three, people waving at me. I'm like, hey, hey, hey. I'm like, ooh, let's go, let's go. Man, when we get to mile 10, now a marathon, for those I don't know, is 26.2 miles. And we come around where some people are met the halfway mark and they're going back to the finish line. And I'm like, man, I kind of wish I was one of those people. And what I did not was in store for us was this huge incline going up a bridge. It was a Portland Marathon. So we were going up the St. John's hill to go over the St. John's Bridge. And so, for those that are familiar, you know what I'm talking about. And at that, like probably a mile before, I didn't know I had a shin splint, but it was a shin splint. I've been training for this for the last 6 months. I just thought it was a cramp. So someone stopped and say, "Did you need something? Like, do you need water? Do you need mustard?" I didn't know that was a thing for cramps. Do you need? And I had little sugar candies to keep me going, and I'm like, no, 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 keep going. But this one person said, all right, well, if you need help, I help you. I can walk with you. And I'm like, so I just started power walking. I was power walking, went up the bridge and everything else. Well, when we got over the bridge, I was feeling better. I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden, there's a school, uh, University of Portland, and that was a station for a. It was a station for everyone that was basically falling out. Okay. Now I saw people there that I was passing or excuse me, that they passed me. And when they passed me, I was like, oh, go ahead. Like, man, they were really doing it. When I was limping along, thinking like I can't do it. So when I saw that they were like on gurneys, like, I can't do this, I was just like, oh shoot, it's my time to tap out too. But remember what I said. Remember them days when that seed that was planted in your heart and God said, I want you to do something, I told you to do it. At that moment, when I said, yo, thank you for your help to that person that was helping me, I'm going to go over there. I'm just going to get in the van and I'll just do this another time. She was like, no, you're not. No, we've came this far. Just because you see them do it doesn't mean you're going to do it. You're going to keep going. I'm like, okay. And there is another guy there too that he was like, man, I can't do this either. But what's amazing is when you have one person encourage you to keep going, it changes everything. So this person, she was with me. I want to say her name was Jennifer, if not Sarah. I'm so sorry. I forgot your name. But she was, and this is, we're a good about 15 years, almost 15 years away from the event. So I apologize that I don't remember your name. As we are saying, yes, we're moving forward, the guy takes off. I don't see him again. He was older than me until we crossed the finish line. And what's funny, he's in my picture as I'm posing with my finisher's medal. And you'll see that in the photo at the very end. So make sure you watch to the end so you can see the guy that I said, you can do this too. Don't give up. He finished right along with me. So, and don't even know his name. So we keep going. But at this point, we keep going, and people are doing their cowbells and clapping. But I'm already at like 5 hours or 4 hours. I'm like, okay, this is not going to work. The marathon folks are saying you're going to have to move off the street and on the sidewalk because basically I'm going so slow. I am no longer able to be considered the folks on the street doing the marathon. So we're moving to the sidewalk, and all of a sudden she says, "Hey, my, if you don't mind, my father and my sister's going to join me." And they're going to finish us as we she's going to finish with her, and if you don't mind, they'll join us. I'm like, no, I don't mind, I don't care, I'm just focused at this point. I'm tired. Oh my god, you don't realize how depleted of your energy you are when you like have spent so much. And I'm like, I'm halfway done, I gotta keep going, and I didn't think mentally I could. So they join us and they grab, they're like, Dad, she says, Dad, I need you to go to the store and get him a candy bar. I ate that Butterfinger so fast and it felt so good. I felt like I was back at the very beginning. That sugar was a rush to my system. But what I didn't know was I was only for a little bit. She said, look, you're just completely out of sugar and you got to keep going, but we can't keep giving you sugar else because you're going to go high and you're going to hit even lower. So you got to sustain and like, here, just eat part of this bagel. Don't eat the whole bagel. So for the last 13.3 miles, since it's 26.2 miles, the last 13.3 miles, they were walking with us, and I was just taking little portions of energy along the way because, again, I had one person say, keep going. You're not going to quit, even though you want to quit. We go down interstate, and there's a restaurant, and I heard someone say like, "Hey, keep going, good job." They were going like this, and I look closer. I'm like, she has her finisher shirt on and her medal on, and I was so sick. I'm like, am I like? I felt like I'm never gonna get there. And let me just fast forward it to the end. I finished, and not in a record breaking time, but in 8 hours and 46 minutes. And when I finished this marathon, what happened for me was a life transition I never thought. Now, I was with somebody who told me that they initially said that they were going to help me, but they put a seed in my and my heart and my mind that I couldn't shake. She said, Nathan, let's be real. We know, and everyone knows, that you're not going to finish this marathon. And I'm like, how dare you say that? I'm going to work full time, working 50 plus hours a week. We have multiple kids. On top of that, I have a nonprofit that I'm working on my days off, and I had to include training. And she's unpacking groceries, saying like she's helping me. And then she comes back and says, you know, you're not going to finish this. We know that you're not going to be able to do this. Man, there wasn't like anything that I couldn't like say like how dare you, other than how dare you, but I'll show you. After this marathon, she wanted pictures with me, and I'm like, hey, I don't really got that much love for you to be in this picture. But we took them. She posted them on Facebook or whatever the case may be. But at that moment, and that person that helped me, I never saw them again. But at that very moment in time, she said, keep going. And that's what I'm telling you. I want you to keep going. I then divorced that person. I then started a business. I started doing the things I really enjoyed. And I found a brand new life that I didn't know that existed. I'm not telling anyone to go get a divorce. I'm not telling anyone to change a job. I'm just telling you that when you do the very thing that God puts in your heart and plants that seed, and you put some water on it and you see it grow, and when you see it blossom, me getting not only my finisher shirt but my medal when I crossed the finish line was an experience that I can't explain to you, except victory is mine, as the church will sing. Victory is mine, but in Jesus' name, I couldn't have done it without him. That sense of victory was no words can describe, but it wasn't just mine, it was the other person, and I couldn't have been more grateful. So when you are going through something, please don't believe that you have to do it all on your own. This is not for you to do on your own, because there are people that will come in your life just for that reason and for that season and for that specific thing, and they are going to tell you you are not going to quit. You need to keep going. So, this is my message to you. You do not quit. You're going to keep going, because there is a prize, and there is a victory, there is a feeling, and there is a blessing for you to receive on the other end. So, keep going and be you. Dream big.